teach you how to create your own economies, create your own legacies, but specifically your own economy, right? There are some essentials you got to go through. Okay. We had a good time last week. We're going to recover some of that, and then we'll get so just from your notes from last week. Let's just open up there. What was? I wanted to give you the 5 rules of making money. They're from the richest man in Babylon. Correct. 5 rules of making money.
Correct.
What we got?
Money granted comes in increasing quantity to any person who is willing to put 10% to the side for their future. Rule number 1.
Right. So basically, everybody needs to save 10%.
Right.
Whatever you earn, you save 10%.
Right.
Right? Right. All right, come on. So who struggled with this here and all that stuff? Go ahead. All right, come on. Let's talk.
Okay, so I got paid. Is that this one? Yesterday. And I treated my brother because he helped me. And then today I needed to go get Pampers for my son. So while in the store, I picked up a few other things. But my initial, like my intentions were 10, 10, 10, 70.
Intentions.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got to keep on.
So I spent the money before I did the 10, 10, 10. So now to the point where if I do the 10, 10, 10, I will have nothing.
Okay. So let's, but we thought, well, now have we all done it? You all do it, right?
Yeah.
This is what we do.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me let you guys talk this out about what I specifically said last week.
Put
Okay.
this aside
First,
You
right?
will never save money.
No, read it out loud. We can't hear you.
Oh, it said, put this aside first, your 10% or your 20%. Put this aside first. You will never save money if you wait until the end.
All right, so here's what most people in the world do. Here's how you save, okay? Most people, I mean 85% of the world, okay? Here's what you do. Get your money, you pay your bills, you buy your food, you fill your car, which is cost of living, and then you do something to play with, joy money. I'm going to go to the movies on Friday night, or I'm going to make it a blockbuster night, which doesn't even exist anymore, right? You're going to do all this stuff. And then you go, all right, now I need to save. And then you get right there to where you just said you were. But hold on, let's check this out. So there's 2 things. So if you're in the church, right, and this not necessarily religious, but if you are in the church, then what you just did was kill your church giving too.
Yeah.
Because now you're going to have to split between the 2. Now, if you just said, if I save 10%, I won't have anything for myself, that also means you don't have anything to give anywhere else.
Right.
Right? Does that make sense?
Right. Right.
So you can't give 10% to Red Cross, 10% to yourself. Right? You said you got no emergency fund, no nothing.
Right.
So it's important to spend 10%. Now, I want you to think about it this way. And then this is what we covered last week. So think about it in reference to how you're going to spend your money. Had you saved 10% first, 10, 10, 10, 70. Okay, let's do this. What is 10, 10, 10, 70?
10, 10, 10, 70 is 10% to God, 10% to yourself, 10% to your debt, and 70% to live off of.
Okay, we're going to break all that down here a little bit. Now, God, charity, right, it doesn't matter. You can, it just depends on who you are in your walk in life. It's not meant to be a theology thing, right? But it's 10% to charity. Anybody will follow these things, follow these rules, right? So 10% to charity, 10% to whom?
Yourself.
All right, and then 10%
to your debt,
and then
70% to live off of.
And why do I say 70% to live off of?
Because that's after you 3 tenths, that's pretty much what you have left.
Okay, but there's a practical reason why 70%. And don't just think about the number 70. Why are we not living off of everything we earn?
Because you can't make money off of spending. If if you make $1 and spend $1,
there you go.
You're broke.
It's very practical, right? It's just common sense. If you get 100 and you spend 100,
Right.
you can't have a living. If you get 1 million and you spend 1 million,
You broke.
you broke. You're poor.
Right.
You're a poor millionaire. If you get 500 million and you spend 500 million, you're poor.
Right.
Like it doesn't. There is a level. Robert Kiyosaki kind of identifies 3 levels of spending, and he puts it in poor, middle class, and rich. And so that's poor. Poor is get it, it's gone. Now you can still. There's another way to get it and it's gone, and that's what middle class gets stuck into. You get it, and then your money goes into financial institutions, and then those financial institutions loan you things to go spend money to, right? So basically what that means is you're stuck in the middle class.
Right.
So you didn't spend $250,000 on a house, but when you get your check, one of your checks goes to your house, the other goes to your bills, right? That financial, that is the quintessential definition of middle class.
Right.
This is why middle class clearly goes all the way up to $350,000, right? Because you can get that money, and then if you tie it into financial institutions, what are financial institutions? Let's just, without naming some specific ones, let's just name them. How can you get them? Car note, house note, right? All the loans, all these things like this in this manner, right? Right? Okay. So good. It looks like he wants his mama. He's trying to learn. Go ahead. He wants to learn. There it is. He wants to be a creator too, right? Got it? Everybody got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so why is it important? Now, there was something about that first law I gave. We spent all last week as a preface to this class, all last week breaking down that law. There was something in there, like read that law again. Somebody read our law.
Money gladly comes in increasing quantity to any person who is willing to put 10% to the side for their future.
Okay, so I want you to focus on the words gladly and increasing quantity.
Okay.
Now, what does money do?
The more you say 10%, the more you'll get to have 10%.
There we go. All right? Here's the deal. Look, everything in this world is governed by laws. It's just, I said this to you guys last week. I'll say it every week. They will teach you something and then go outside of what they taught you to oppress you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they'll teach you. Now let's put this in a church context, right? I'm fit to be a bit mean here, but I don't mean to be, right? It's just, I don't mean to be. Pay your tithes. It's 10%. But if I never, and then I'll go outside of, I'll pay my tithes too. But then I'll go outside of paying my tithes with extra knowledge and oppress you with just you paying your tithes.
Right.
So here's what that means. I'll teach you what to do with paying your tithes, but I don't teach you what to do with the 90%.
Yeah.
See, you're saying, well, he pays his tithes and he's doing well. Well, yes, but I'm paying my tithes and I'm also not spending more than 70% of my income on my living.
Right.
So when I intentionally don't spend 70% of my income on my living, that means I intentionally don't do stupid things.
Right.
I don't buy, we're coming back to you in a second, right? I don't buy stupid things. And I don't convince myself that stupid things are important to me right now.
Right.
Okay, right? Like that's the big one. That's the, ooh, I just need this.
Yeah.
Here, the whole time it's stupid. It's got stupid written all over it. And it has a stupid harvest attached to it, but you convince yourself, well, I got it. I have the money.
Yes.
This will, exactly. This will, no. Right? Just absolutely no.
I had to talk to myself.
He got it.
I almost bought a jersey and I was like,
Say they won, we take one, so you like, hey.
And I remember you talking about that jersey this week. So here's the deal. If that jersey don't fit into the 70%, get somebody else to buy that jersey.
Yeah.
This is what the wealthy does very well. It's called OPM.
Yeah.
Other
People's money.
There we
Yes,
go.
sir.
Right? So if that jersey is $53, $29.90. Okay, so, but listen to what she did though. Let's listen to the strength of her creating her own economy. $29 is nothing.
Right.
When you put tax on it, it would have been like $34. Absolutely nothing. Does that make sense? And then here's what she's gonna say. Well, it's nothing. It's just $30, right? How many of all of us have done that? But what she did was this $30 don't fit in my 70%.
Right.
And that doesn't mean that her 70% is so low that she can't afford it. That's not what that meant. That meant after she did all that she was supposed to do in her set. Well, first off, you can't even get to the 70 without getting to the what first?
10.
The 10.
And then what's next?
The 10.
And then what's 30?
The 10.
Okay, so you can't even get to the 70 until you go through a 3-step process. 10, 10, 10, and then 70.
Right.
So before she got to this, before she rationally deduced, I'm not buying this jersey. It doesn't fit in my 70. That meant what? What did you do first?
10% to go to charity, 10% to me.
Okay, so you spent 10% to you, but I know you're doing. You got an investment account now. Now, have you ever had an investment account before you start taking classes?
No.
Okay, so take us through that. Take us through that, whatever that is.
Okay, like before?
Whatever before life with a comma in investment accounts.
Before life with a comma in the investment account, it was pay the bills and then overdraft.
Yeah.
And if I just stay under this right here, this negative, I'm good. If I go over, I'm panicking. And month after month after month, and all I would do was worry about, am I going to be in overdraft this month? Will I have enough to pay? And then when I finally listened and said, when he said, hey, pay yourself. How dare you pay Capital One before you pay you?
Right.
It made sense that time.
That time. But how long did it take for me?
2 years.
2 years. So listen. So the first time I came with her for this information, this financially, now, have you going wrong with this information?
No.
Okay, so let's just go. I'm coming back to you, okay? I had to, in order for me to say what I want to say to you, I need to lay down a lot of foundation, right? So the paying yourself